The world is starting to look a lot like the state of Florida.
Oh.
When people in their 30s right now are in their 60s, 22% of the world's population will be over 60. That's double 2015 levels, and the number of people over 80 will triple. And yes, we fact-checked that with the US Census, which reports 21% of Florida's population is 65 or older. That means that, again, what we're moving is all like Florida. Such a change in the numbers of people who are over 60 is sure to have consequences for everyone, and not just those over 60. From healthcare to economics and everywhere in between. And as our population ages, when we believe you do need to be very intentional of how you prepare for it, right? So that's really important. What can you do to start preparing now, though? If you are, earlier, what can you do now? Even if you're already in your 60s and you live in Florida, right? What can you do now? Or you're still in your 20s. The trend is there. Here's your chance to not ignore it, because there are stats to back us up.
Yeah, people are living longer. Hello, and welcome to Wealth Wisdom Financial Podcast. We believe when conventional thinking doesn't get you where you want to go, that's when you need wealth wisdom. Hit that subscribe button. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks so much for being here. Give us a like, give us a comment below. Let us know that you're watching and help us with the algorithm get important messages like we're talking about today to more people.
Now, if you're just joining us, we're rounding out a month of videos about retirement. We started this month with redefining retirement, and it's not what you might think. We have different definitions of that. Then we talked about the problem with the 401k, right? And there's lots of problems with it. Last week, we shared about one major alternative to the 401k. And for those who are building up their retirement savings, but want to maintain access to their own money throughout their lives and not just wait until their retirement age, right? And today we're making this video especially for those individuals with significant amounts hanging out in their 401ks, in their IRAs, and other qualified retirement accounts. The question today is, do you really have to keep it at risk? Do we still have to keep riding that roller coaster?
You have limited options on how you invest your money, how you use your money when you're with a 401k or IRA. Do you need to stick with only those options? Could there be something else? Now, the most surprising thing about the aging trends that Brandon was talking about at the beginning of the episode is this, and I'm going to quote the World Health Organization. Here we go. Quote, "Evidence suggests that the portion of life in good health has remained constant, implying that the additional years are in poor health. If people can experience these extra years of life in good health, and if they live in a supportive environment, their ability to do the things they value will be little different from that of a younger person. If these added years are dominated by declines in physical and mental capacity, the implications for older people and for society are more negative." End quote.
What they are saying is that while people are living longer, the number of years in good health are remaining similar, right? So there's a gap. As we live longer, the extra years are experienced again in poor health. The World Health Organization is looking at how to improve environmental factors, since activities like healthy eating and physical exercise do dramatically impact people's health in their 80s, just like in their 30s. However, this is not a podcast of fitness. This is a podcast about something else that's important.
Yeah. So what is the number one factor that impacts someone's ability to have a positive health environment, to eat good food, to make sure they're physically active, all of those, to build into their mental health, have friends, have community?
Yep, you guessed it.
Money. Yes, supportive environment of friends and family is super important, but financial stability is even more so. Back in 2019, the World Economic Forum published findings that show that people should expect to live longer than the pot of money they have saved for retirement, between 8 to almost 20 years on average, with the highest burden on women. So what all of this boils
Wow, that's
down
a lot.
to, people are living longer, but those longer years are spent in poor health and without much money.
Now, can you imagine living between 8 and 20 years beyond your retirement savings? Now, this is, again, on the latter end of your life, not the front end when you had your parents to make sure you were taken care of. I have a 4-year-old, so I understand that. This is the other outside. How do you think living on only Social Security would impact your health? Maybe worse. We know that the stock market decline impacts health with emergency room visits peaking the day after a sharp market decline. How would experiencing a decline in your portfolio impact your health and longevity when you're 80 years old? That's something to think about.
Yeah, these questions and ideas get really scary really quick. So let's get positive. I'm an optimist. Let's share about an alternative to how you could experience your older years, how we hope to experience our older years.
What if you can turn your retirement savings into an income that would continue to be paid to you even if and when we go into a recession? What if even if your account balance has already been paid out to you, you continue to receive an income? How do you think that would impact your health and ability to live life on your terms, no matter how long you live? Could you dramatically change your environmental factors? Would that change your environmental factors if you knew that you were getting that money, regardless of what happened out there or what happened on Wall Street?
Yeah. Here's the amazing thing. This strategy that we're describing, the strategy that we hope we will use as well and will be there for us, it's been around for thousands of years. It's not some fad, but super importantly, you have to know it's also been modernized within the last decade to keep up with the changing population, with the changing economic environment that
Yep.
we're in. We've even been starting to see commercials on streaming services promoting this thing. It's becoming seriously mainstream, and that's a big deal. What is it? It's an annuity.
Wait, Amanda. Like I've heard and I've talked to people who are on the other side of the camp when it comes to money, and they always tell us annuities are bad and everyone should steer clear of them. So what you're telling me is they are becoming mainstream, but a lot of those financial gurus who have been bashing them for decades are wrong?
So they do have some major criticisms. We're going to go through these quickly because we don't have time to really go deep into them. But we're going to give
And
you a resource that you can go deep into these to make sure it's right for you.
and pay attention. You might be seeing some commercials now.
So one of the major criticisms is that annuities cost too much. They're absolutely cost you all financial instruments that you use, whether you're paying on the front end, the back end, you're losing something, right? So you'll want to look at that carefully, but know that different annuities have different costs to them. And there are some that can even be totally fee free. Another criticism is that if you die, you lose everything.
I've heard that many times, and
This
I'm
is
like, oh, that's wrong.
Yeah, there are some annuities that's true with, but some of those modernizations, so some of the more modern annuities, they do have a death benefit that would still go to your loved ones. And you can look into how that works a little bit more. Another thing is that it's a fixed income, that you can't ever see an increase to your income. Again, something that's been modernized, true of older annuities or true of some types of annuities, but there are some that you can actually get a pay increase every year.
They have some that have income riders where you can get a bonus just for putting your money, like you put it into an annuity, and it gives you a 22% income bonus, right?
Yeah, and that number can change.
It could change,
Yeah.
right? And it's correlated to the market. So if the market happens to go up, you still get some of the great benefits. And if it goes down, you just don't lose from that.
Yeah, and you used a very important word there, correlated. There are some annuities that allow you to invest in the market, and then there are some that your money is not actually invested in the market, but you follow market-like returns. And you can, in the resource we're going to share, dig into how that works a little bit more. And then my favorite question that a lot of people don't consider when they're looking at how they would use their retirement funds is what happens if you get sick?
Yep.
And you want to ask this very clearly of your 401k, of your IRA, of an annuity if you're thinking about doing that. If you get sick, what happens? And we'll just ask you this question. Would your 401k or your IRA double your income, even if your account balance is at zero because you have to go into a nursing home? There are some annuities that totally do that. That's pretty big. And the reason we wanted to talk about this is because it's very personal for us. My mom, thankfully, worked for the government and has a pension. She has a lifetime income that unless the government, takes it away, right? She has that.
Yep.
There's some risk to it, but that brings her a lot of mental and physical health. She's able to eat better food. She's able to take steps to improve her health because she knows she doesn't have to worry about dipping into her 401k to pay this doctor fee or to buy these vegetables or that kind of thing.
And let's be honest, it helps us too, which is really important because we are caretakers and helping her. And to have that income means that I'm not having to make for money enough to provide for not just my son, but for my mother-in-law and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So she is able to access that.
Yeah. So bottom line, pensions are going the way of the dinosaur, and more people have 401ks, IRAs that have a lot of money in them that they're trying to figure out, how do I use that in my older years? And we want to encourage you that annuities are worth looking into. Don't just dismiss them. Personally, we're not here to sell you any annuities. We're actually here to help you learn about them, confirm if one is right for you, and if so, what way, shape, and form is it right for you? We just simply ask that you evaluate that you could live longer than you anticipate, and financial security might help you actually enjoy those years in better physical health and in better financial health.
Yeah. And again, thinking about it as not just using it we don't want you to lose it either. So with the market turmoil, we just want to make sure you're in a good financial position. And we highly recommend getting educated on creating your own lifetime income. So we have a favorite resource. It's a consumer guide, and we've got a link to the description where you can download it and learn more via case studies, stats, charts, and more. So if you go to the show notes of this episode, you will find the link there. So
and it's totally
go
free,
there,
totally
free.
No obligation, just helps with your learning.
And we didn't write it. So, and while you're learning more about annuities in general, it's important. And while learning more about annuities in general and how they are important, it's also crucial to make sure your annuity decision is based on a holistic review of your financial strategies. It's not just the thing that is the main thing. It's like, how does it fit to everything else? So we'd love to help you learn and confirm if and when an annuity is right for you. So if you want, of course, go to wealthwisdomfp.com to schedule a discovery call with us, and we can see how that works for you.
Again, that's wealthwisdomfp.com. Thanks for joining us. Hit that subscribe button. We've got a new month, new theme coming to you next. Live long and profit.
The topics presented in this podcast were general information only and not for the purpose of providing legal, accounting, or investment advice. On such matters, please consult a professional who knows your specific situation.